we're surrounded by AI, right? It's incredible, it's powerful. But what if, for all of its amazing abilities, it's missing the one thing that actually matters? In this explainer, we're going to dig into a paper by Pavel Striniak that draws a really hard line between artificial intelligence and living, breathing systems. The big question is, are we just being fooled by an amazing performance and maybe missing what intelligence really is altogether?
Okay, let's just dive right into this with a simple but honestly a really powerful image. You've got a motorcycle. It's a marvel of engineering, right? It's faster and way more efficient than a horse in any practical sense. But then there's the horse. It's not just a machine. It's born, it grows, it feels. It has a will of its own. AI is our motorcycle, and yeah, it's outperforming us in countless ways. But does it have that same unexplainable spark of life? This one comparison really sets the stage for everything we're about to explore.
So this comparison leads us straight to a pretty powerful and maybe even an unsettling idea, the illusion of intelligence. I mean, AI's outputs are so convincing that it's just so easy to believe it's actually thinking. But is that incredible performance the same as real understanding? At the very heart of this difference is a type of reasoning called abduction. Now, this isn't about pure logic or just spotting patterns. This is the spark of human creativity. Think of that aha moment a detective has, connecting two clues that seem totally unrelated to solve the case. It's the ability to look at a bunch of scattered pieces and just imagine the picture they could form. Abduction is all about inventing possibilities, not just calculating probabilities. And right here, the difference becomes crystal clear. AI is an absolute master of deduction and induction. I mean, it follows rules and spots patterns with superhuman ability. But abduction, that creative leap, that's a whole different ballgame. It can't make those leaps because it has no sense of what it doesn't know. It can't ask a truly new question. And this leads us to a crucial warning from researcher Eric J. Larson. He argues that when we mistake this incredible simulation for real intelligence, we just stop asking the hard questions. It's kind of like getting so mesmerized by an amazing magic trick that we forget to wonder how it's actually done. By confusing the two, we might be heading down the completely wrong path. So, if AI is missing this creative spark, what exactly is it that living things have? This question moves us beyond the world of algorithms and data and, right into the fundamental principles of biology itself. To explore that, let's think about a famous philosophical puzzle. We can understand all the science behind how a bat uses echolocation, but we can never, ever know what it actually feels like to see the world with sound. That internal, subjective, first-person experience, that is consciousness. An AI, for all its power, can be programmed to say, I feel happy, but does it actually feel anything? Does it have an inner world at all? This distinction is captured by a key biological concept, autopoiesis. Now, it's a fancy word, I know, but it points to a simple and really profound idea. Living things build themselves. A horse grows, it heals, it maintains its own body from the inside out. A motorcycle, or an AI, is the total opposite. It's built in a factory, a collection of parts assembled from the outside. One is self-creating, the other is just created.
And when you lay it all out like this, the contrast is it's stark. A horse is born, a motorcycle is built. A horse finds its own food to survive, and AI needs to be plugged into the wall. A horse has its own desires and fears. A motorcycle has a destination that's set by its rider. And these aren't just minor points on a checklist, They represent a deep, fundamental divide between a living being and a very complex machine.
Okay, so why does any of this philosophical deep dive actually matter? Well, because in our world, the line between a convincing simulation and reality is getting blurrier every single day. And that has some very real consequences. I want you to imagine a massive data center. With all its blinking lights, it kind of feels like a giant living brain. Now, what if you could replace every single one of those silicon chips with a tiny mechanical gear? In theory, that vast clockwork machine could do the exact same calculations. It's a powerful reminder that, at its core, no matter how complex it looks, AI is still just computation. So, let me ask you, if we built that massive machine of gears, and it could talk to you, laugh at your jokes, even write a poem, would you believe it was conscious, that it had an inner life? Most of us would probably say no, right? So why do we feel so differently about a machine that does the same thing, just with silicon instead of steel? It forces us to wonder if we're missing a key ingredient in what consciousness even is.
And this brings us to the real risk in all of this. And spoiler alert, it's not a robot apocalypse. It's something way more subtle. As humans, we are just wired to see ourselves in the world around us. And as AI gets better and better at mimicking us, we risk giving our trust, our authority, and even our empathy to systems that have no feelings at all. The danger isn't that we'll be replaced by machines, but that in the process, we might forget what it truly means to be human.
So where does this leave us? Well, it suggests we might need to take a big step back and just rethink the entire goal of artificial intelligence research.
You know, maybe this entire complex argument can be boiled down to one powerful idea. A horse doesn't need to be fast to be alive. Its value is simply that it is alive. A motorcycle doesn't need to be alive to be fast. Its value is its utility. With today's AI, we've built the most incredible motorcycle imaginable, but we have to remember, it's still a motorcycle.
And so, we're left with a question that could define the entire next chapter of technology. Are we racing to build a perfect imitation of a mind without ever stopping to understand what a mind truly is? Perhaps the next great leap in AI won't come from more processing power, but from a deeper understanding of that spark of life itself.